11:07. Those white numbers are burned into the backs of your eyelids. As you blink, and after that second of absolute darkness, you return to see the screen has gone dark. You sigh and shove the phone into your coat pocket, the wet fabric cold against your already moist hands. Bending over slowly, you grip the handle of your grocery bag and lift it off the ground, the bottom now soaked through. A slight wave of concern runs through your body. You still have a 10-minute walk back to your dorm, and if that bag breaks, well, you curse yourself for not having going out earlier. Then again, you only had realized you were pretty well out of food, and when you have reached into the closet for a snack and found only a jar of peanut butter and some dirty dishes. You've been putting it off all week, either too busy with class, cramming for the upcoming midterms, or just said, I'll do it later. You realize now you need food to function, due to not having to purchase a meal plan for this year. Though, to be fair, last year's dining hall options were comparable to prison slop. Wondering if there were any even places open at this hour, you turned to your clock and saw that it had been 10:27. If you had been hurried, you would have made it to the grocery store before they closed at 11. Looking out the window with a groan, seeing those snaking lines of water, you quickly readied yourself, then dashed out of your room and into the street. It all had been pouring all afternoon and into the eerie night, with a light drizzle continued on. Oh, how you ran, working for your smooth legs until they burned, your lungs pumping oxygen until they felt ready to explode, your throat growing tight and constricted. It hurt to suck air for your nose, and then you ran some more. The falling water pricked your cheeks like icicles falling from the starless sky. Your thin spring jacket didn't do much in the realm of keeping you dry. The liquid just soaked right through, now clinging to your arms. But you kept running. The grocery was still within a walking distance, but not closed either. And there was even a time limit on top of that. The rubber squeaking of your sneakers echoed throughout the concrete and metal walls as you rushed around while a zombie night shifter announced that the store's closure is in 10 minutes. You tried to recall what you came here for, but panic began to build and overwhelmed your mind. To and fro, spinning on your heels, rushing and shoving items into your cart. You hurried to the cash and made your purchases. You've doubted that you had everything you were looking for, but at this point you're too exhausted to care. But now as you began to re-enter the suburbs, the weight of the bags was beginning to take their toll. After having just done their intensive exercise for the week, it hurt to breathe, and your mouth was a desert that you had forgotten the slick feel of saliva, now dry and harsh. Your eyelids begin to betray you, and your head swirls like a greasy dishwater down the kitchen sink. Just before you felt as you though you have been going to take a nap on the damn sidewalk, you feel it. Those goosebumps roaring their way up your back and around your back of your neck. You're being watched. You don't have any proof, and it's probably just your paranoia acting up, but you can't help it. There is a snapping of wood. Your head whips around to find nothing. Nothing but a stray cat running out of the bush and disappearing into the darkness of an unlit side street. You breathe a sigh of relief and then continue on, shaking your head as little droplets dance in your hair. Though it was only March, the street back to your dorm reminds you of Halloween. The only color to be seen is orange, painting in the houses in its daunting shade, and anywhere the lampposts couldn't touch, the darkness painted black. It didn't help that the houses were not their best shape, for your university was only thing dragging money and new people into town. But as for its non-student residents, they were left to live in the decrepit, paint-peeling houses. The only comfort you could take is the light from the street lamps, giving you temporary sanctuaries from the eerie and unknown risks of the street. Maxwell University and the town of Maxwell were two different beasts. It hadn't been your first choice of secondary education, but it certainly wasn't your last. Plus, with the lower costs and bigger scholarships you had been offered, there was no way to refuse. You said goodbye to your mom and dad and flew out there to pursue a career of computer science at one of the top places in the country to do so. What wasn't known before was arriving in the state before of the town of the city of the university you reside in. You hadn't been to many rural towns, having spent your whole life in the city, but you hope that Maxwell wasn't representative, as the whole Maxwell wasn't not an abandoned crippled town with more empty stores and one bustling with people. But it was little bustling either. An afternoon walk downtown slowed that much, and it showed zombie town, filled with zombie workers and shops with no heart to them. Barely any form of pride about the university that was kept on campus in much more potent, concentrated from the screaming daytime drinking that had chased you away to go explore, even if the sun was not too kind for your fair yet pale indoors skin and poorly adjusted eyes. Eventually you made friends similar in their minds in your classes to laugh and bitch about this over, but for now you were coincidentally alone. The odd looks from the elderly troubled you. They were the only ones around that seemed, but all of their stares at the same tone of judgment. They probably imagined you were down there like to cause trouble, likely based on past generations of students, but you stayed silent and wandered on. You continued to notice a tall sign for a coffee place and decided to get a drink where a strange sensation rattled down your spine. Your shoulder blades press through uncomfortably, and you feel the air against the back of your neck. Turning around, you're met with the face of another older fellow, an unkempt beard and a dirty jacket. Standing almost on top of your own shoes, you stumbled back and turned away, trying to get the image of his silent, moving mouth and missing teeth out of your head as you pick up the pace. You didn't want to be involved with this strange man, even if he needed something, and you decide not to return downtown for a while. The last thing you wanted is to become a regular face to him. That's why your heart begins to race as you see a figure standing solemnly under the street light on the other side of the road. You couldn't be sure if that it was him, but puffy jacket and turquoise match. You didn't think much of it until a certain question comes to your mind. Where did he come from? He wasn't just there a minute ago. Did he just leave his house or apartment? If he actually had one. No, he couldn't have. You would have heard the doors or sounds coming from inside. Did you not notice him? Perhaps it was hard to see when everything was orange and in shadows, with the light rain reducing your visibility even further. Was he waiting for you? Now your throat closes once again. The dread begins to climb your back, weighing down your mind. He had been lurking behind some tree, a hedge, a house, waiting until you returned? Perhaps he saw you running to the store, and he knew he'd have a good chance at getting you on the way back. Don't be ridiculous, you think to yourself. He's just going out just like you, a destination of his own choosing. You almost laugh at how jittery you are. So strange that despite being surrounded by houses of other people, you're anxious over one guy walking in the opposite of the street, one guy that probably has no quarrel with you, but his sudden appearance still toys with you. You enter a dark section of the street, the spot between two headless streetlights. Your eyes slowly try to adjust to dark, after waiting under the last light for so long. But then, even if it's hard to make out his figure in the dark, for a second he seems to disappear completely, and you squint your eyes, wondering where he is. Entering under the another light, you can get a better look at him, and now he acknowledges you. You can make out a beard, and as you watch, some glinting object is quickly concealed in his pocket. You swallow nervously and then turned away and tried to pick up the stride some more, leaving him gawking under that orange glow. That's all you needed to know. It's time to get home. Your heart continues to do the Indy 500, accelerating harder than any of its winners. You want to look again to check and see if he's still there, still watching you, but you're scared of what he might do to you if you do so. The rain begins to fall harder, and you can no longer make out the sounds of his footsteps against the pavement. The pace of your own breathing quickens. The air feels sharp, cutting insides of your nostrils with every intake. You can't take it anymore, and he could be right on top of you, and you'll be dead if you don't know how to run. How your head whips around to turn to see him there under a different street light, trying to catch up with your pace. Panic takes your mind while the dread continues to cling on. You walk faster still, trying not to cry out. Don't look again. Don't look again, you tell yourself. You just keep going. Just then in the distance, but approaching, a low, hefty grumble. A car. Someone is passing by soon. That will keep him away from you. He can't do anything if there's other people near. And plus, you're almost back on campus. Surely you'll find the security patrol and ask them to escort you back to your dorm. The two white beams cut their way through the rain and the orange glow of the lamps, growing larger and brighter as the car comes closer. You look back quickly once more, just to see his reaction. The man is looking back at you, his pace slowered. He feels your heart lift as the car passes, realizing you are about to escape. Water sprays from the wheels and nearly touches you, and you hear the sound of rubber rolling away quickly on the wet asphalt. Relief slowly returns to your body, and you turn to check on the man, and to find that he isn't there. The clapping of shoes rushes up to meet you from behind, and you turned around completely to find him striding behind you. The noise of the car blocked out his feet, and now he had closed the gap. Trepidation overwhelms your senses. You turn back around and walk faster, holding back fearful tears, the rain wetting your face as it takes their place. You swallow your heart over and over again, trying to get out of there, and that's when you hear it. The running, his footsteps speeding up behind you to get to you. You lift your feet and start to sprint as the Perka man runs past you and wets up. But of course, first, his footsteps speeding up behind you. Grassy hill of your campus, you watch in shock as he slips, shouts obscenities at the mud, and then gets up and hurries to a nearby building after exposing his university key to the scanner. For a moment you catch his face, far younger than the man from downtown. You stand there in the rain, dumbstruck, yet analyzed about this situation. You drop off your bag to the ground and laugh hysterically about getting so paranoid, as he was just rushing to get out of the rain. Too bad you never noticed me. Then again, you never did. Not any other time. Taking up that break to laugh gave me a chance to move in, unable to hear me approach over your own idiocy, to knock you out and drag your rain-covered body to my car. I was quite anxious. That cat had nearly given away my position in that bush, but I was successful and managed to bring you here. What was that? Why? I thought you said you never paid me any mind. I tried everything I could to make you care, and you just used me. Used me to get all your little papers done and ace the classes while I, the local boy who worked his ass off to escape his life shoveling pig shit and grass, got to fail, all for you, and you never thanked me even of it. One night was all I asked. You couldn't have just given me another chance? Was it so difficult for you just to give it a shot? Maybe so. Maybe I should have known you from how you treated me. Maybe I should have just respected my precious angel's request and left you alone. Maybe I should have let you go. Maybe I still should. Know what you're thinking. Hamish. Going through all this only to get your darling go? No, never mind that. It's so weird, to love someone so much and yet completely despise their existence at the same time. So this is going to be my last gift for you. A lesson. Just small and easy one. I'm sure you won't need any tutoring or cheating to understand. It's a lesson why you should watch your back at night. Let us begin.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.